Hello, and welcome to number 9 in the Building Better Teams series with IMOD. We're going to focus on mentorship and networks, the role this plays in teams, how this impacts how a team operates, and some of the ways in which you can build out sort of a mentorship network. As I've mentioned before, this is a adaptation of the series that IMOD hosted in early 2025. We're just recording some for the online section. These are some of the other subjects that we've got, and I encourage you to check out the other videos in this series. One of the recommendations with mentorship is to provide a shared understanding. And the idea here is to define it. And the definition that IMOD has chosen is to really focus on what the National Academy defines as mentorship. And so mentorship is a professional working alliance in which individuals work together over time to support the personal and professional growth, development, and success of the relational partners through the provision of career and psychosocial support. I'm going to talk a little bit more expansively, but that really is what we're focused on. And how do you do that? Importance of it, and some of the ways that you can really develop based on that. So hopefully you've got a pen and paper. Pause the video for 30 seconds and write down some of the ways in which you think mentorship is something that would be useful to you. Hopefully these are some of the things that you've looked at. Things like access to career knowledge and experience, help in navigating complex situations, support, facilitating and accelerating career growth through engagement in different perspectives and different opportunities. Strengthens collaboration skills and relationships. So developing these interpersonal skills that are so integral to working in a team. Your mentor doesn't have to be your supervisor. It often is. It often is. But especially in a community like IMOD, there are plenty of opportunities to connect with people that you might otherwise not have had an opportunity to connect with. One of the ways I would encourage you to think about how you want to build a mentor setup is thinking about building yourself a personal board of directors. I know personally that I found it difficult in the past to say, okay, if I'm looking to get another mentor, how do I do this? What is it that I want? And don't put all the pressure on one person. Don't say this person needs to guide me through my career. It needs to guide me through my research, my peers, my hobbies, my community, my personal life. There are opportunities to kind of build this circle of people who you want feedback from. And these are just some of the ways in which kind of a different mentor system can work for you, and you can connect into these folks. Again, this is something that we've done a number of times in this series. It starts with you. How do you start doing this? And part of this is really like, what do you need? Where do you want help? Where do you want support? There might be spaces where you're like, yeah, I am good. I don't need help on that. But there might be spaces where you're like, yeah, I need to really think about this. So, what do you want your next job to look like? Have you given, are you going to be an academic? Are you going to be an industrialist? Are you going to step away from science and do something else? What does that look like? That will help you identify who you need to speak to. What do I like about my current role? What do I dislike about my current role? How can I do more of what I like and move away from what I don't like? What do I enjoy outside of work? This doesn't have to be specifically focused on your work, but this might also inform where you end up. Do you like hiking up mountains? If so, how are you going to find locations and positions that have things like that? These are important factors to build into kind of your picture. What skills am I lacking? We talked about the translational scientist and the T-shaped worker. Use that mechanism to really identify some of the things that you maybe hadn't thought about. How do I improve that? What do I think my career path will look like? Do I just want to get one job and spend 30 years there? Do I want to move between different challenges and ideas? Do I want to try different things? Think about what that looks like for you. Do I want a promotion? Grad students, you're not getting promotions, but as you think about this and hopefully use this down the line, What does a lateral move look like? What do different roles look like? What are the pros and cons of those different aspects? And then kind of the balance. How do you navigate your professional growth with things like your personal goals and different aspects? So thinking about these things will help you really kind of think through who you need to speak to because you'll identify gaps. Try this exercise. You don't have to do this on a regular basis, but where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years' time? You've gone through those questions. What are really the most important features? You know, is it really that you want to be somewhere that you can go skiing in the winter? Is that more important to you than other aspects? Is it really, I want to be at this institute because they are doing the work I want them to be doing? Use this mechanism to distill down what are your top priorities. And once you've got that, start looking around. Who is doing the thing you want to do well? It could be a peer, it could be a faculty member, it could be a friend's relative, it could be one of your relatives. And think about, have you connected to these people? How do you choose your people? You look at someone who's been successful at something you want to do and you connect. So take 30 seconds. Do you have any mentors at this stage? Which of the board members have you ticked off? Have you got a personal mentor? Have you got a career mentor? Have you got a research mentor? Take 30 seconds, write it down. We'll move on. You've gone through your questions. You've identified some people who are doing really good stuff in things you'd like to emulate. You can keep it casual. You can literally just be like, oh, I need to just watch what they're doing. I want to watch how they act in situations. I don't suggest stalking people, but I'm saying watch what they're doing. Watch how they act. If they're someone you want to emulate, that's great. Reach out and just connect and be friendly. That's a great way to learn a little bit more about them. If you want to be formal about it, if you want to be official, then there's a note here that you can emulate. I absolutely would be someone who would be nervous in doing this, but really consider what it would look like if someone more junior than you reached out and asked you to do this. You would probably be flattered and you would probably be very interested in talking with them. You'd be interested to pass it along to help somebody. And so think about that when you're feeling nervous about writing to somebody who you would like to emulate. I know that if someone wrote to me and said, I really appreciate the way you do this, I think you've got a great skill here. I'd like to learn more from you. I would be excited to help them. And I think a lot of people would be. So, think about that if you're not if you're not ready for it. Be ready for them to say they're too busy. You can always try again later, or you can maybe say, hey, is there anyone you can recommend? Folks are busy. They might say, look, I don't have time to help you with this. And you can say, great, thank you for the time. Do you know anybody else? Or maybe I'll reach out to you in a year or two when things have died down. These are ways that you can kind of connect. A great way to build the relationships with these folks is to give back. If you work with them, if you've got feedback from them on a job application or mock interviews or connecting them, celebrate with them. If you get that job, take them out. If they're virtual, send them a gift. It's a great way to really connect with people and it helps build strength in that relationship. Be a hub. They might be looking for new things and think about ways that you can help them connect with people you know. I've done this one before. It's this idea of, there are ways that you can help people, provide guidance on things, help with giving feedback on college applications. There are ways that you can help that you might not have thought about. The stronger you make a connection with each board member, the easier it is for you to recognize ways that they can help contribute to your success and you can contribute to theirs as well. Pass it along. Really consider the fact there are people who have helped you. How can you help others? There are hopefully going to be people reaching out to you for feedback and remember sort of the help that you gained when you are considering them. Here's your action items. Think about where you want to be. Who's doing it well at this time? Who inspires you? Who would you like to emulate? Can you reach out and connect to them? You don't need one mentor who's going to try and cover all of your needs. There are many that you will rotate through. You know, your board of directors will change, and that is great because that means you're growing and you're changing. And so think about that. You know, be on the lookout for people who might inspire you in the future. And then if someone does come and ask you for benefit and advice, connect into them. They will hopefully pay it back. Encourage them to do these things. Okay, we are getting close to the end. We are next up is going to be conflict. Why it's good, why disagreement is good, um, and hope to see you there. Thanks.